Hello and welcome back to the Smash Archive, the series where we look at every franchise featured in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Well, the time has come for the last episode on a major third-party company, and what could be more fitting than one responsible for putting out the line of consoles that have served as one of Nintendo's main competitors, with Microsoft. Now, since the main Microsoft franchises don't pull much content from games outside of their respective first entries, this episode will be structured in a similar manner to the Square Enix episode, with each franchise featured getting more general overviews instead of the primary franchises getting in-depth entry-by-entry looks. For specifics, we have two primary series with Banjo-Kazooie and Minecraft, followed by three minor series with Doom, Fallout, and The Elder Scrolls. With that all out of the way, let's get started. Originally starting life as a Super Nintendo RPG, Banjo-Kazooie is a 3D platformer that released as an exclusive for the Nintendo 64 in 1998, the game's developer being Rare, a UK-based studio who at the time were a prominent second-party developer for Nintendo, and were known for titles such as Donkey Kong Country, Killer Instinct, and 007 GoldenEye. The game sees you play as both Banjo the Bear and Kazooie the Red Breagle, as they go on an adventure to save Banjo's sister Tootie after she gets kidnapped by the evil witch Gruntilda, the journey requiring the pair into various worlds and collect numerous objects, most importantly golden puzzle pieces called Jiggies, which unlock future levels. Banjo-Kazooie would end up becoming one of the most critically acclaimed games for the system, being able to utilize a formula popularized by the system's launch title, Super Mario 64, with some even claiming it managed to outdo Mario's efforts both in scale and quality, the only real source of criticism being the camera, which was a fairly common problem with early 3D games. The title proved popular enough to get a sequel in 2000 with Banjo-Tooie, which sought to take the game to an even bigger scale of both things to collect and the size of the game's levels, with it receiving similar levels of praise at the time. In 2002, Rare would end up being purchased by Microsoft, primarily as a method to help them gain a strong developer that could make titles that would be exclusive to their newly released Xbox. For Banjo's output specifically, there were two smaller games that released for the Game Boy Advance, with Grunty's Revenge in 2003 and Banjo Pilot in 2005, though the next mainline installment wouldn't come out until 2008 with Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts for the Xbox 360, which saw a massive shift in gameplay that focused on building and driving vehicles to complete various missions, a change that resulted in gameplay that wasn't necessarily bad, but was too different from previous entries to appeal to fans of the Nintendo 64 games. Since then, outside of the first two games getting HD re-releases on the 360, along with some ports for the Xbox One and Switch Online, the franchise has effectively been dormant since the release of Nuts and Bolts, though despite the long absence, the series has managed to maintain a fairly loyal fanbase, going as far as to help crowdfund a spiritual successor to the series called Yooka-Laylee, which was made by a lot of the original game's developers under the new studio Playtonic Games. Given this loyal following, along with the first game being considered a stapled classic of the N64's library, there's a solid amount of content from Banjo-Kazooie. To start off, there's Fighter number 73, Banjo and Kazooie, the duo who serve as the series' titular main protagonists, Banjo being the more laid-back and well-mannered of the pair that prefers eating honey over going on adventures, whilst Kazooie is the brash and snarky one who insults and is rude to near enough every other character in the series except Banjo, the pair being close friends that work together to get through the various dangers they find themselves in. Next is the stage Spiral Mountain, the opening tutorial area of the series, specifically being set on the top of the titular mountain. The main gimmick is that periodically the camera will spin around the mountain, and based on the position the camera stops, you can stand on parts of the pathway leading to the top, as well as the bridge that leads to Gruntilda's lair, with certain positions also adding floating wooden platforms. Finally, various characters and collectibles from the series can be spotted around the background, including Mumbo Jumbo and Bottles popping up around the stage, Tootie running around on the ground, Buzz Bombs and up to 5 Jinjos flying around the mountain, and Gruntilda, who will fly around if the camera stops spinning at the point where her lair is visible. Then there's 10 music tracks, with a new remix of the original game's main theme, a new remix of Spiral Mountain's theme, with the track also containing brief samples of the themes for Treasure Trove Cove, Freezeezy Peak, Gruntilda's Lair, Mayahem Temple, and Rusty Bucket Bay. A new remix of the theme for the first level of Banjo-Kazooie, Mumbo's Mountain. A new remix of the song for Banjo-Kazooie's second level, Treasure Trove Cove. The theme for Banjo-Kazooie's fifth level, Freezeezy Peak. A new remix of the track used for the sixth level of Banjo-Kazooie, Gobi's Valley. with it also incorporating the theme for Gruntilda's lair. A new remix of the theme for Banjo-Kazooie's 7th level, Mad Monster Mansion. A new remix of the song used for the 3 boss fights against Klungo in Banjo-Tooie. Mr. Patch's battle theme, who serves as the boss for the 3rd level of Banjo-Tooie, Witchy World. Lord Wu Fakfak's battle theme, who is the boss of Banjo-Tooie's 4th level, Jolly Roger's Lagoon. Finally, there's 9 spirits. Number 1337, Banjo and Kazooie, a fighter spirit. Interestingly enough, Banjo's first appearance wasn't actually Banjo-Kazooie, due to him being included as a playable character in Diddy Kong Racing, which released 7 months beforehand. The spirit artwork is from Banjo-Tooie, which added the ability to split up the pair and play as just Banjo or Kazooie on their own, both gaining and losing moves from doing so. Number 1338, Tootie, a 1-slot advanced support spirit with the effect Poison Damage Reduced. Banjo's younger sister, whose kidnapping at the hands of Gruntilda, is what kicks off the plot of the first game, though after this entry she never shows up again. The artwork is original to Smash Ultimate. Number 1339, Bottles, a 2-slot advanced primary shield spirit, a nearsighted mole who teaches Banjo and Kazooie new moves throughout the game, along with teaching you the basics of how to play through the opening section in Spiral Mountain. The art is original to Smash Ultimate. Number 1340, Mumbo Jumbo, a 3-slot ace primary grab spirit with the effect Magic Attack up. A skull-faced shaman who, in exchange for Mumbo tokens, can transform Banjo into various creatures in order to help them on their quest and collect various jiggies. The artwork is from Banjo-Tooie, where in exchange for creatures called Globos, he can briefly be played as, with his main ability being that he can perform magic once he's stood on a Mumbo pad. Number 1341, Jinjos, a 2-slot advanced primary neutral spirit which can be enhanced at level 99. Small mystical creatures of various colours who have been hidden across the worlds by Gruntilda, with the player being rewarded with a Jiggy when they find the 5 Jinjos hidden within a level, with some also helping out during the final battle against Gruntilda. Their spirit artwork is original to Smash Ultimate. Number 1342, the Mighty Gingernator, a 2-slot ace primary neutral spirit with the effect Giant. A giant godlike Jinjo which deals the final blow to Gruntilda, causing her to fall off the side of the tower, crashing into the ground and then getting crushed by a boulder. The art is from Smash Ultimate, where it appears as Banjo and Kazooie's final smash, mimicking its assault against Gruntilda. Number 1343, Jiggy, a 1-slot novice support spirit with the effect Lightweight, the main collectible of the series which are needed to unlock the game's levels, the Jiggies effectively being Banjo-Kazooie's equivalent to the Power Stars from Super Mario 64. Number 1344, Gruntilda, a 3-slot legend support spirit with the effect Poison Power Up, an evil witch who talks in rhymes and serves as the main antagonist of the series, in the original game kidnapping Tootie in order to steal her beauty and become the most beautiful woman in Spiral Mountain. The spirit art is original to Smash Ultimate. And number 1345, Buzz Bomb, a 1-slot novice support spirit with the effect Floaty Jumps. Yellow dragonfly-like enemies that appear in Bubble Gloop Swamp, the autumn version of Click Clock Wood, and certain areas of Gruntilda's lair. Its artwork is original to Smash Ultimate. Initially releasing as a public alpha for PC in 2009, Minecraft is a sandbox survival game made by Swedish developer Mojang Studios, which sees you get dropped into a randomly generated world of blocks, with you only having the vague goals of surviving against monsters, gathering food to not starve, and gathering materials to build objects and equipment to have an easier time playing. Thanks to the game's fairly simple structure, with it providing a high amount of creative freedom to play the game however you like, along with constant updates leading to the eventual full release in 2011, and a highly active modding scene, Minecraft would end up being a critical and financial phenomenon. The game's seen ports on near enough every modern gaming platform, with the combined sales and popularity of each version of the game leading it to become the record holder for the best-selling video game of all time, currently having sold over 300 million copies, with an almost 100 million copy lead over GTA 5's second place. The title's overwhelming success not only leading to various spin-offs being made, such as the dungeon crawler Minecraft Dungeons, the AR mobile game Minecraft Earth, and the point-and-click adventure title Minecraft Story Mode, but also to Mojang being purchased by Microsoft in 2014, with the game having seen consistent updates to this day. The title currently consisting of 2 main versions, with the original Java edition on PC, along with the Bedrock edition for consoles and mobile devices. Given the series' long-standing popularity for well over a decade, there's a lot of content pulled from Minecraft. First, we have fighter number 77, Steve. This being Minecraft's player character, specifically being the default skin for the game since the first public releases of the title back in 2009. In addition to having 2 colours based on alternate skins for Steve, he also has 3 alternate costumes that swap him out for Alex, the second default skin, which was added in 2014 as part of the 1.8 pre-1 update for Java Edition, along with 2 more based on enemy mobs from the game, namely namely a zombie and an enderman, the latter of which has had its proportions altered to match the size of Steve's model. Then there's the stage Minecraft World, the generic name coming from the fact it's not based on any specific location, instead just being a general part of the overworld. The stage itself has 6 potential layouts which are based on different biomes from Minecraft, with most of the blocks that make up the stage, barring the main platform, being destructible. The 6 biomes which can appear are plains, the most generic biome consisting of flat grasslands, with it featuring a small villager town in the background. Birch forest, a hilly landscape filled with, as the name would suggest, birch trees, but otherwise is fairly similar to the plains, with there being platforms hidden within the trees. Savanna, a flatland decorated with tall grass and acacia trees, which like birch forest has a platform hidden in the tree. Taiga, a cold forest area filled with spruce trees, sweetberry bushes, and flora, with the stage also featuring some mossy stone. Snowy tundra, an uncommon biome filled with snow, with the stage having a villager house in the background, along with a couple floating platforms and an igloo on the stage, which in Minecraft can spawn in this bio and often contain treasure chests and similar items. And stone shores, a variation of the beach biome that borders mountainous regions, the main difference being that they're mostly made up of stone instead of sand, with the layout featuring a stone structure and one floating platform. During the fight, the stage will go through a day-night cycle, with various creatures from the game appearing in the background as time passes. Specifically, 2 cows, chickens, or sheep appear on the stage for the whole match, with villagers coming outside during the day and going back home at night for the biomes that feature them. And at nighttime, up to 3 enemy mobs from the game will come up to the stage before running away or catching fire when the sun comes out. The mobs that can appear being zombies, endermen, skeletons, and spiders. After that is 7 music tracks, with a new remix of the 2 camp themes from Minecraft Dungeons, Harland and Delana. A new remix of Earth, the main theme of Minecraft Earth. Clockwork Crafter, one of the songs that can play on the Shipyard map from the Console Edition's Battle minigame. A new remix of Toys on a Tear, one of the tracks that can play on the battle minigame's Shrunk map. A new remix of another theme for the Shrunk map, Dance of the Blocks. A new remix of Glide, a song used for the console edition's Glide minigame. New remix of the theme used for the final boss fight of Minecraft Dungeons against the Arch-Illager. From that, there's 3 sets of Mii costumes, with a Mii Brawler outfit based on a Creeper, one of the first and most iconic enemy mobs from the game, being included as far back as the first test releases of the game's survival mode, their general behaviour being to creep up on a player before blowing themselves up. A Mii Brawler outfit based on a Pig, the first passive mob that was added to the game in the same update as the Creeper, with the creatures generally just wandering around, though they will follow a player close to them if they're holding vegetables, and a Mii Sword Fighter outfit based on Diamond Armor, which for the longest time was the strongest set of armor in the game until Netherite armor was introduced in 2020 as part of the version 1.16 update, with the sword being a matching diamond sword. To end things off, there's 11 spirits. Number 1428, Steve, a fighter spirit. The artwork is taken from the Xbox One edition of Minecraft, which released in 2014 and was delisted from the Microsoft Store in 2017 in favor of the Bedrock edition, which is also available on the platform. Number 1429, Alex, a fighter spirit. The spirit art is taken from the Wii U edition of Minecraft, which released in 2015 and was supported until 2019. Number 1430, Zombie, a slotless novice primary attack spirit with the effect Fire Weakness, one of the most basic and earliest enemy mobs for the game, which will follow and deal melee damage to the player on contact. The artwork is taken from the Xbox One edition. Number 1431, Creeper, a 1-slot advanced primary attack spirit with the effect Fire Attack Up. The spirit art is also taken from the Xbox One edition. Number 1432, Skeleton, a 1-slot advanced support spirit with the effect Shooting Attack Up. Another enemy mob that has been in the game since the test releases of survival mode, with them attacking the player from a distance using a bow and arrow, with there also being a variation of them that ride on top of spiders. Their art is taken from the Wii U edition. Number 1433, Slime, a 1-slot advanced support spirit with the effect Jump Up. A hostile mob added in the Alpha 1.0.11 update, with their attack pattern being to jump towards the player. Slimes can also come in up to 3 sizes, with the larger slimes splitting up into multiple smaller slimes upon being killed. Number 1434, Enderman, a 2-slot ace primary neutral spirit with the effect Water Weakness. An enemy mob introduced in the Beta 1.8 update, with their name, tall and lanky appearance, ability to teleport, as well as them being docile until being attacked or looked in the eyes, all being heavily inspired by the creepypasta character, the Slender Man. The artwork is taken from Minecraft Pocket Edition, the version of Minecraft designed to run on mobile phones and tablets, with it also being home to the engine that was later used for the Bedrock edition of the game. Number 1435, Villager and Iron Golem, a 2-slot ace primary grab spirit with the effect Strong Throw. Villagers are passive mobs introduced in the Beta 1.9 pre-release that can spawn in villages, with players being able to trade with them using emeralds as currency, with their outfit being dependent on their job and which biome they're in. Meanwhile, the Iron Golem was added in the version 1.2.1 update, being neutral mobs that will protect a village from enemy mobs, with them also attacking the player if they either attack it or they have a low popularity or reputation within the village they protect. Number 1436, Ghast, a 1-slot advanced support spirit with the effect Air Attack Up. A ghost-like enemy that only appears in a hell-like dimension called the Nether, both of which were added in the Alpha 1.2.0 update. Ghast will float around, but if they see a player, will begin shooting fireballs at them, which explode on contact, but can be reflected with either another projectile or weapon. Number 1437, Piglin, a 1-slot advanced support spirit with the effect Weapon Attack Up. Neutral mobs that can be found in the Nether starting from the version 1.16 update, with them usually attacking the player unless they're wearing at least one piece of golden armor, in which case they'll be docile and even trade goods in exchange for gold ingots. And number 1438, Ender Dragon, a 3-slot legend support spirit with the effect Mouthful of Curry Double Up. A special boss mob that only appears in a space-like dimension called The End, both of which were added in the Beta 1.9 pre-release 4 update. Its main attacks being contact damage whilst it flies around its domain, and shooting purple fireballs that deal magic damage, along with using end crystals to restore its health. The spirit artwork is taken from Pocket Edition. Initially releasing in 1993 for MS-DOS, Doom is a first-person shooter made by id Software, which was primarily distributed by giving away the title's first episode as free shareware, with the remaining 2 episodes being exclusive to the full retail release. The game seeing you have to fight back against an invasion of demons when the Union Aerospace Corporation, a multi-planetary conglomerate with radioactive waste facilities on Mars and its 2 moons, accidentally open a portal to hell during secret teleportation experiments. Whilst it's been estimated that only 1% of people who played the shareware version actually bought the full game, that didn't change the fact that Doom was an absolute phenomenon, selling millions of copies and getting ported to every game console under the sun, with later releases getting an additional 4th episode, along with both it and id Software's previous title, Wolfenstein 3D, being widely credited for popularizing the FPS genre, along with being viewed as one of the most important games of all time. Doom's success would eventually lead to the release of Doom 2 in 1994, Final Doom in 96, and Doom 64 in 97, after which the series would go on hiatus before returning in 2004 with Doom 3. In 2009, id would end up getting purchased by ZeniMax Media, the parent company of Bethesda, who in turn would be bought out by Microsoft in 2021. And following its acquisition, the Doom series would finally see a grand return with a soft reboot in 2016, also titled Doom, with this iteration getting a sequel in 2020 with Doom Eternal, with another entry currently being set to release later this year with Doom The Dark Ages. Despite how influential Doom is within the general history of video games, the only thing taken is a Mii costume, which as a heads up is also true for the two remaining series we still have to discuss. In this case, we have a Mii Gunner costume based on the main protagonist of the Doom series, originally referred to as simply the Doom Marine or Doom Guy, before being given the proper title of the Doom Slayer in Doom 2016. His lack of a real name, voice, and backstory prior to the events of the first game being intentional choices to make it easier for the player to imagine themselves as him. The costume's appearance is based on the armor he wears in Doom Eternal, the most recent entry at the time of the costume's inclusion, with the gun being Doom 2016's rendition of the pistol, the basic starting weapon from across the series. Coming out in 1994, exclusively for MS-DOS, The Elder Scrolls Arena is an action RPG made and published by Bethesda, the title being played from a first-person perspective featuring a mix of melee and magic combat, with it seeing you travel across the continent of Tamriel to reveal and bring an end to a conspiracy against Emperor Uriel Septim VII, who was betrayed and imprisoned in an alternate dimension by the Imperial battle mage Jagar Tharn. Whilst mostly only getting a cult audience, mostly due to how demanding the game was in terms of specs requirements for the time, Arena was still viewed as an impressive milestone for computer RPGs, with its 1996 follow-up, The Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall, gaining even more recognition and sales, with the sequels afterwards not only seeing ports to console, but were all considered to be some of the best games of all time when they released, with 2002's The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, 2006's Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and 2011's Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, along with an Elder Scrolls 6 having been formally announced as far back as 2018, 3 years before Bethesda's parent company were bought by Microsoft, with it currently having a speculated release date of 2026 or later, the franchise having currently sold 59 million copies between the 5 mainline entries and 2014's The Elder Scrolls Online, with it being widely regarded as one of the best game franchises of all time. As mentioned before, the only thing taken from Elder Scrolls is a Mii costume, in this case a sword fighter outfit based on the player character and main protagonist of Skyrim, referred to as Lat Dovahkiin or the Last Dragonborn, it being a person with the power to use a form of magic called Thum or Dragon Shouts, along with possessing the unique ability to consume the soul and power of slayed dragons, with the Last Dragonborn being prophesied to use their gifted abilities to bring about the defeat of Alduin, a powerful dragon that ruled over Skyrim in the Merethic era and is considered to be the harbinger of the apocalypse. The costume itself is based on the Dragonborn design that was prominently used in Skyrim's promotional material, equipped with a steel sword, studded armor, and iron boots, gauntlets, and helmet. Releasing for computers in 1997 and serving as a spiritual successor to 1988's Wasteland, Fallout is an RPG made and originally owned by Interplay, which takes place on Earth in the year 2161, one that is still in the process of recovering from a worldwide nuclear war between America and China in 2077 that devastated the world and destroyed modern civilization. The player player controlling someone who was born and raised in one of the many vaults used to protect the conflict's survivors, being tasked to explore the wasteland and find a replacement ship for the vault's water system, all the while interacting and having to survive against the various creatures, mutants, and factions that have come about as a result of the nuclear apocalypse. Fallout would end up gaining immense amounts of critical praise, and whilst falling short of sales expectations, it was still a commercial success and amassed a large fanbase, with a sequel coming out the next year with 1998's Fallout 2. In 2004, as part of efforts to help with their financial struggles, Interplay would end up signing a deal with Bethesda to license out the IP as part of a 3-game deal. But in 2007, this was then altered to help pay off creditors, which led to Bethesda gaining full ownership of the series. Following Bethesda's takeover, the franchise would transition to being played from a first-person perspective, along with releasing on consoles, with 2008's Fallout 3 and 2015's Fallout 4, both seeing immense critical and commercial success, although Bethesda's output has often been criticised by longtime fans who vastly preferred the entries made by Interplay, though this hasn't stopped the series from being widely popular within the general gaming landscape. Like the last couple of series, the only thing taken is a Mii costume, this time around being a set for Mii Gunners based on Vault Boy, the mascot for the Fallout series, as well as the in-universe mascot for Vault-Tec, the company responsible for building all the post-apocalyptic shelters that were used to survive the nuclear war. The gun is a generic ray gun, which seems to come from the Energy Weapons bobblehead collectible, with its jumpsuit indicating it's from Vault 111. The same vault which housed the player character and main protagonist of Fallout 4, dubbed the Sole Survivor. And with that, we've covered everything in Smash which has been pulled from the Microsoft-owned franchises. As for where these series rank for their total amounts of representation, Doom, Fallout, and The Elder Scrolls are all tied 109th with 41 other series. Banjo-Kazooie is tied for 35th with Punch-Out, coming ahead of the Street Pass Mii Plaza and behind the King of Fighters, and in turn is the 15th most represented third-party series. And Minecraft is 30th, placing just above Kingdom Hearts but below Dragon Quest, with it also being the 11th most represented third-party franchise. After this one, we've only got 2 volumes left before this series ends. Volume 25 being an overview of any remaining third-party franchises we haven't covered yet, with the 26th and final episode looking at all the content either taken from previous Smash games or were original to Smash Ultimate. Until then, subscribe to the channel to keep up with when those videos come out, along with anything else I'm working on, and thanks for watching.